Hello. Today we will learn about variables and data types. What are variables? Variables are names given to data that we need to store and manipulate in our programs. For instance, suppose your program needs to store the age of a user. To do that, we can name this data usage and define the variable usage using the following statement. Usage equals 0. After you define the variable usage, your program will allocate a certain area of your computer's storage space to store this data. You can then access and modify this data by referring to it by its name, usage. Every time you declare a new variable, you need to give it an initial value. In this example, we gave it the value 0. We can always change this value in our program later. We can also define multiple variables at one go. To do that, simply write usage, username equals 30, Peter. Now have a try on that code. Naming a variable. The variable name in Python can only contain letters A, Z, A, B, numbers or underscores. However, the first character cannot be a number. Hence, you can name your variables username, user_name or username too, but not to username. In addition, there are some reserved words that you cannot use as a variable name because they already have pre-assigned meanings in Python. These reserved words include words like print, input, if, while, etc. We'll learn about each of them in subsequent chapters. Finally, variable names are case-sensitive. Username is not the same as username. There are two conventions when naming a variable in Python. We can either use the camel case notation or use underscores. Camel case is the practice of writing compound words with mixed casing, e.g. this is a variable name. This is the convention that we'll be using in the rest of the book. Alternatively, another common practice is to use underscores to separate the words. Underscores. If you prefer, you can name your variables like this. This underscore is underscore a underscore variable underscore name. Now have a try on that code. The assignment sign. Note that the equals sign in the statement usage equals 0 has a different meaning from the equals sign we learned in math. In programming, the equals sign is known as an assignment sign. It means we are assigning the value on the right side of the equal sign to the variable on the left. A good way to understand the statement usage equals 0 is to think of it as usage less than 0. The statements x equals y and y equals x have very different meanings in programming. Now run the program. You should get this output. Now have a try on that code. Although x has an initial value of 5 declared on the first line, the third line x equals y assigns the value of y to x less than y, hence changing the value of x to 10 while the value of y remains unchanged. Next, modify the program by changing only one statement. Change the third line. Mathematically, x equals y and y equals x mean the same thing. However, this is not so in programming. Run the second program. You will now get. You can see that in this example, the x value remains as 5, but the value of y is changed to 5. This is because the statement y equals x assigns the value of x to y less than x. Y becomes 5 while x remains unchanged as 5. Basic operators. Besides assigning a variable an initial value, we can also perform the usual mathematical operations on variables. Basic operators in Python include plus, /%, and asterisk, which represent addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, and exponent respectively. Now have a try on that code. Besides the equals sign, there are a few more assignment operators in Python and most programming languages. These include operators like plus equals, and asterisk equals. Now have a try on that code. Data types in Python. In this chapter, we'll first look at some basic data types in Python, specifically the integer, float and string. Integers. Integers are numbers with no decimal parts, such as to declare an integer in Python, simply write variable name equals initial value. Now have a try on that code. Float refers to numbers that have decimal parts, such as to declare a float in Python, we write Now have a try on that code. String. String refers to text. To declare a string, you can either use Now have a try on that code. In the last example, because we wrote userage equals 30, userage is a string. In contrast, if you wrote userage equals 30 without quotes, userage is an integer. We can combine multiple substrings by using the concat and a sign plus. Now have a try on that code. We will talk about these later on. And next, we'll explore the concept of typecasting. Finally, we'll discuss 3 more advanced data types in Python: the list, tuple and dictionary. That's all for the tutorial 2. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Instruction session has been ended. Shutting down. Thank you.